Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we talk about the pretty, twisted side of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a new kinkster or have years of experience, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us on this journey as we talk about our personal experiences and use the knowledge we've gained over 28 years of being involved in both private and professional aspects of this lifestyle to help you explore every facet of kink.
Get set for an adventure. Not only will you learn and grow, but we promise loads of laughter, turning each episode into a fun party. So fasten your seatbelt and let's get this show started. Pink Kink runs off the generosity of our devoted patrons.
As a patron, you will become a member of our special Discord server, receive some adorable Pink Kink stickers, as well as have access to a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast. Patrons also get discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
In addition, our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get special audio and video episodes. And finally, patrons at our highest tier will be recognized as producers, both here on the podcast and on our website.
If you would like to become a patron, you can visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click the link at pinkkinkpodcast.com.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Brianna Lynn, Daddy J, Fabe, Embers, Blossom, William P, Claire, Lady Blooding, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Kat, Stefan, Shadow Phoenix, Voldy, Christopher, Kilted Sir, Brian, May Cry Devil, Ruby Riot, Mistress Velma, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, AK Harley Chick, Violet Rain,
Serenity, Belle, Eric, Lady Affliction, Dr. Dave, Pumpkin Pie, Ms. Tourmaline, S'more, Hacksaw, Wee Mad Beastie, To Be Better For Me, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Forest, BP Bryn, Crash Override, Kinky Bear, Barbie, Navigator Bard, Frost, Sinful and Naughty, Coffee and Chaos, Noir, Haley's Comet, Mr. Pillsbury, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Princess Sassy Pants, Lady and Lex, Chaos Monster, Kristen, Casper, Hazel Page, and Jessica. This is your official trigger warning for this episode.
Both of us have moments where we got on our soapboxes and might have gotten just, a tad bit ranty and loud.
Overzealous might be I don't think we got off the soapbox.
I don't know if I call it overzealous. Passionate. We're very passionate people.
Yes, we'll go with passionate.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Definitely that word, because Rara started me off with a bang and just went straight into Dara going nuts mode. And then Rara ends in going nuts mode. So good luck, people.
You know I love to torment you.
Yes.
It's one of my kinks.
Well, we'll talk about that in the episode, ma'am.
So when we decide to do these episodes, which everybody always loves, and it's the Reddit episode, I go through and I pull out different questions that I think would be fun for us to discuss. And one of the things that I look for is, can I make Dara crazy?
Success.
She hasn't even read it yet, but she has.
I did. I glanced at it.
Well, right there is trigger warning: sexual content and bodily fluid.
Yes.
So I feel like not only is this going to be fun, but I want Dara to be the one to read the description, because it takes it to another level. Not for her just to hear it, but for her to say these words out loud. And then that's when we get the best content from her.
You are the worst pink daddy ever.
I'm a good pink daddy because I am pushing you. I'm pushing your limits.
No, you're not pushing my limits. You're completely disregarding my boundaries.
I'm not showing you pictures. She comes downstairs and I set up, right? I took the dungeon down from the blood play party and I specifically set up so that the butt picture that we took is behind screens.
Oh, is that why the screen is still up?
That's why the screen is sitting up, because I'm trying to be respectful of your boundaries. And then she gets upset because the needles, which are in cases, they're in the packaging.
All the cases are open and exposed.
And you can't see the needle unless you get up in its face.
But I know what they are.
I'm like, are you serious? This is going to upset you? You have to like get up and close to see the needle itself.
Robert, when are you going to understand that basically everything you do upsets me?
Oh, I know. I just don't give a shit.
Well, you know what?
Because if I tried to not do all the things that would upset you, I would be stuck on my sofa and never able to do anything in this entire life. And I don't want to live like that.
That's not true.
And I'm the pink daddy, so I get to do what I want.
Yeah, you know that's satire, right? You're not actually my pink daddy.
Oh, I know. Okay. Doesn't mean I can't act like one.
I'm going to ignore you like the little brat that I apparently am.
Well,
does that mean I'm the pink brat?
Pretty much. But let's be honest. When did you not ignore me already? Like nothing changes.
Yeah. No, this will be fine.
So, and it's these conversations that make me look for these type of questions on Reddit.
Which makes me even brattier. So it's just a little cycle of viciousness.
All right. So you ready for the trigger warning sexual content and bodily fluids?
No. God. You're such a bitch.
It's the evil. It's the sadism. And it's the emotional sadism.
You're still a bitch.
Yeah, I know. And a proud bitch.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for being offended when my boyfriend was disgusted with me over an accident during a BJ? Whew, boy. So this happened 2 nights ago, and I've been wanting to die of embarrassment ever since then. So basically, boyfriend woke me in the middle of the night / morning for sex. It was probably like 4 a.m. And why did this? Okay, hang on. This suddenly disappeared. Okay. It was like 4 a.m. and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but my gag reflex is so much worse in the morning. You can probably see where this is headed. I already have so many comments in my head.
Keep going.
He starts guiding my head there, and I didn't really want to, but he was pretty adamant on it. I eventually gave in. So many comments. As I'm doing my thing down there, he's pushing my head a lot and thrusting into my mouth. I told him to stop, but he didn't. And one ill-timed head push made me vomit all over him and his peen and the bed. I immediately started to sob because that's so fucking embarrassing and I was just overwhelmed. I have no idea why that happened. I've never even felt like I was going to vomit before. I didn't even have a chance to stop. I felt horrible and immediately apologized, to which he responded by pushing me away from him. He was so mad, which I kind of understand. Getting vomited on was not his ideal situation, but he did absolutely nothing to make me feel better. I was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes debating if I was going to die of embarrassment or not. Again, I don't know how this happened and I feel horrible. When I came back to bed, he had cleaned up in the other bathroom and just went back to bed without saying anything. Did he clean the bed?
I assume so.
I hope he cleaned the bed. I cried for a bit again, and the next morning he told me he was really disgusted still. I said, yeah, me too, and apologized again for whatever that was. He rolled his eyes and now has been reminding me of how disgusting it was, but I've already apologized for it, and I feel like he's doing too much at this point. I told him to leave me alone about it, and he told me I was being an asshole about the whole situation. Am I really? I've apologized so many times. I don't know what else he wants from me. Well,
I'm going to just sit back. Mark, get set. Rant.
I have a solution. Break up with his dumb fucking ass
ding,
and
ding,
then
ding, ding,
vomit
ding, ding,
all
ding.
over him again.
Ding, ding, ding. Like, we have an answer.
This is at the point where when you break up with him, stick your fingers down your throat after eating like chocolate cake or something and just really get gnarly on his ass. I mean, I would make this as painful of a breakup as possible because several points here. I'm going to go back to my mental notes.
I'm just sitting here because this is fun.
Oh, boy. Okay, so first of all, did you discuss being woken up in the middle of the night / morning for sex? Because in here, you specifically say, he starts guiding my head there and I didn't really want to. That would be coercion, which, by the way, is sexual assault. So strike one against him there. So that's a breakup right there. He's pushing your head where you don't want it to be. And right there, that's immediately punch him in the balls and go away. I'm at the point where I would actually punch somebody in the balls for doing that. When I was younger in my 20s, probably not, but I know a lot more now that I'm 40. I fucking punch them in the balls and go away. And they're like, oh, but that's physical assault. Well, that's what you get for trying to actually sexual assault me, ya dickwad. Pushing my head down, thrusting into my mouth. That is not comfortable, people. That is not how you give a blowjob. I can give a pretty goddamn good blowjob. That's not how it happens. Okay? If you are into somebody thrusting your head onto a dick or whatever it is, that's fine. Hopefully you discussed it beforehand and that's what you're into. Great. Go ahead. Do your thing. But as somebody with a gag reflex, no. Told him to stop, but he didn't. Again, now we're into rape. And made me vomit all over him and his peen. I'm just going to end my little rant with, deserved it.
How do you really feel? Don't hold back.
Fucking deserved it.
I saw this and I went, oh my God, this has like Dara rant written all over it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm actually really happy you gave me this one because motherfucker deserves not only vomit all over him and all over his dick, but he also deserves a punch in the balls for, I don't know, raping her.
For me, when I read these type of stories and I see especially young female identifying people who then wonder, was I wrong? I want to slap them upside the fucking head and go, how the hell do you not understand how wrong he was and how not wrong you were? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the Jewish mother in me, but I'm like going, girlfriend, what the fuck?
Listen, I will say I did not have any cojones in my 20s. Okay? I was coerced or, silently suffering through a bunch of this shit. I didn't get cojones until I was ready for my first divorce. And even then it took twice.
It's not so much whether you have cojones at the time.
Do you even know what cojones are?
Of course I know what cojones are.
Okay.
They're balls, baby.
All right. Just saying.
Remember, I lived in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm just, yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah. And I watch TV.
Mm-hmm. I said something in Spanish in Ohio once, and there was nobody to understand it. And then I moved back here, and then I said it again, and I was just like, oh, God, no, they can understand me here. Whoops. It was bad.
But it's not so much that at the time, because let's face it, at the time, you're probably not that coherent. And whether or not he was right or wrong, and just to say he's wrong, the humiliation of throwing up. I understand that, right? That's like embarrassing. That's like disgusting. You're throwing up in bed. You're upset. You're all of that. It's when you're sitting down to write all this and you write all this out. How do you not look at that and go, like, I understand if you don't have the cojones to break up with
like that word, don't you?
I've always used it, but to break up with them. But like when you're writing this out, how do you have any doubt?
Baby, call me. I'll break up with him for you and I'll punch him in the balls for you because he really, really deserves it. Especially he made you vomit and he didn't comfort you. His only concern, this has red flag guy.
Oh, yeah. If you don't follow
it.
Red Flag Guy on TikTok, you really should. He's funny. I love him.
He's got green flags too, but this, I feel like I want to send it to him because my God.
Well, right. Like, I'm not sure what upsets me more. The fact that even if she had consented in the past to, you're allowed to wake me up and fuck me. The fact that at that time she didn't want it.
As soon as she said, I didn't really want to, but he made me anyway.
Right. That's
that right there.
Okay. So I don't know if I'm more upset about that and that he basically forced her, or his reaction when she threw up. That he didn't give a flying fuck about her.
Listen, if Daddy J and I were in this situation, like he thinks it's hysterical when he makes me laugh so hard that I can't breathe, and then I roll over and I start almost like gagging and almost throwing up. He immediately stops. Whatever it is that is making me laugh that hard, he stops, checks on me, is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm seeing stars at this point." He goes, "Okay, we're done." He thinks it's funny when he gets me to that point, but he won't cross that line. If he ever actually made me vomit, I think he would.
Oh, he would be humiliated.
He would blame himself more than he would me, and he like in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
he would have been so apologetic. Like, I don't think he ever would have stopped saying he was sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how little this guy cares for her.
It's a total disregard of everything about her feelings.
Her boundaries.
Everything.
Right?
Yeah, no, he needs to
was there any safe signal put in place for if she felt herself starting to?
Well, it said in there she didn't even realize she was about to. There was no time to like.
Because I will tell you, I may have thrown up in my mouth once or twice when I've attempted to deep throat, but I've also been able to pull back. And even if my head is being held or my hair is being held, because yeah, at least every guy that I've been with enjoys that. If my head is pulling back, nobody's ever
pushed it back
down or not let me back
You know
off.
where that comes from. He
Porn.
watches too much porn.
Yep.
When he likes the really dark, messy blowjob ones where the girl is crying, the mascara is running down her face. So I saw a Reddit post once I think it was in BDSM community or advice or something, and she was specifically asking for mascara that ran when it got wet.
I've seen that, yes.
Because she wanted to do that type of blowjob scene where he was forcing her, but it's a CNC scene when it's that way, because she was specifically asking for mascara that would run.
Okay. Which means she was
consenting. If you're looking for the makeup to specifically do a scene like that, that's consent. Enthusiastic consent, no less. That is, yes, I want to do it. Okay. But she clearly, and I'm biased already because I won't do shit when I first wake up. If you try to do anything with me before I've had coffee, including speak to me, don't.
Yeah, see, and I'm okay if you wake me up to have sex, but don't wake me up for a blowjob.
Don't expect Rara to participate in the sex.
No, which is why there's not going to be a blowjob. But if you want to stick your dick in me, that's fine. Orgasms always make me sleep better. So I'm happy to do that.
The only things that can ever get away with talking to me or having me do anything first thing in the morning before my coffee is my dogs. That's it.
And that's really a CNC relationship.
Yes. No, I am my dog's bitch. For sure. But I think every dog owner is.
No, followed only by cat owners.
Yeah, that's true. But the one woke me up this morning because she was crying because she had to poop. And I was like, okay, baby. Okay. All right. And I'm like trying to get up and my knees are clicking and my back is creaking. And I'm like, can I pee first before I take you out?
Oh, see, my answer is I'm going to pee. The only option is where.
Yeah.
But I am going to pee. I would prefer it in the toilet. I'm sorry, I've now reached the age. I am going to pee. There's been a couple times where I'm like, it has been really close.
Same. There's been a couple times where I haven't made
goddamn pants take too long to pull down.
So when you said that this was going to be bodily fluids, I thought she like pooped on him or something during sex. Like, I thought that's what you were going to say.
Oh, see, to me, I can handle pee. I can handle poop. Vomit, that's a hard limit.
Yeah. I hope he cleaned the bed, honestly.
I have to think at least he changed the sheets.
He probably didn't, though. He probably like bundled up the sheets and put them down on the floor or something.
I don't know.
He seems like the kind of guy that would strip the bed, leave everything for her to wash and clean up because he didn't want to touch it.
I'm sure he did.
And then just lay down without putting actual sheets on the bed.
Yeah, I could so see him. I don't know if you put new sheets on or not, but I could so see him just taking the dirty sheets off to the corner. I mean, she is the one who threw up. The least she can do is clean up.
She has to clean up after herself, obviously, because she made the mess.
I hope she left him. I really do, because
I want to find. Can you send this one to me? Because I want to see what the comments say.
I'd have to find it. I'd
like to see if there's an update.
I don't know if I can find it for you, but
okay. Well, I'll Google it.
All right. Next one. What to do when you're both subs?
Good
luck.
I
love this one because I actually answered this question in a Discord server the other day. Hey guys, so my partner of a few years keeps on pushing for me to be more dom for them. It used to be that he'd ask every once in a while. Now it's all the time, and the answer is almost always the same. No. Every so often I'll put on a show for him and try to force myself into that role, but it isn't me. Once, like every 6 to 8 months, my hormones will kick in and be like, sure, this is all right, but other than that, I'm incredibly averse to it, and I'd rather not have sex than be dom. I'm incredibly subby, like my life is completely in your hands, subby, physically, mentally, spiritually. I'm a little sub that just wants to be taken care of sexually and in life, but he wants to be sub too and keeps getting upset with me, saying it's not fair. I'm upfront with my sexual preferences, and I've always said I'm very submissive. He'd grumble in the past when I wouldn't let in new kinks. but he's really hooked on this and I don't know what to do. I'm just a little baby.
Okay, that sounds super cute.
Well, it's another TikTok thing.
Yeah, I know.
So I have a couple thoughts on this one, some potential. Option number one, you guys just aren't compatible and it's not going to work and I'm so sorry and maybe it's time to just end it. That's the harshest one. Other options are to maybe open up the relationship. Maybe you need to bring in other partners.
If you can get a third that is a dom to both of you, that feels like the ideal situation. I would do it. That is literally my ideal situation. Have a mask and a femme sub.
Yeah. I mean,
it's perfect.
You always hear about how unicorns are bad, but I think in a lot of cases it's not a DS relationship or they're looking for another submissive.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're looking for a dom who will get to control things, it might not be as harsh.
I'll be their fucking unicorn. Hell yeah, I would do that. I would only in the dom capacity though. I don't think I would do it as a relationship because I don't have that kind of time.
Right. Well, that leads to another option. And this is what I was talking about in actually the Loving BDSM Discord server. Somebody was asking about, there were two littles who were looking to maybe start a relationship. And how would that work? Could they find somebody? And I'm like, yeah, you just have to find somebody. And it doesn't have to be the same person. They could each have their own caregiver. It doesn't always have to be sexual.
No. So our friend Vixen, we were talking about that. We were talking about going on little dates with each other where we would be two unsupervised littles without any caregivers, just running around doing little things. We haven't done it yet. We're probably still going to, but we do each have a caregiver. So in order to, this mostly came about because we were basically unsupervised littles at Winterfire. And we did great. We did fine. We did not eat icing or anything else that we've done in the past.
I don't see anything wrong with that, but okay.
Well, that was because that still comes up. I had a party once where we were making cookies and all of the caregivers decided that they were going to sit down and watch TV and drink beer and they watched some horror show. And the littles were left unsupervised with the cookies and the icing.
Mm-hmm.
We ate more icing than we iced cookies.
And were you sick the next day from
Little bit, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people who are not out in kink communities don't really understand the idea of platonic kink.
Right.
And if you want to be monogamous romantically, sexually, that's fine. You can bring in dominants who aren't sexual with you. Or they can be where they top you for sex but don't have sex with you.
I've literally done that. It's not difficult.
You can also hire professional. This is what a lot of professional doms do. Is they have clients who they're not in a romantic relationship with because they're clients, but they do things for them and with them that they can't get from their partner. There's so many options here other than washing your hands of the whole situation going, we're not going to work out.
Yeah, you just have to be a little more flexible in your thinking. It's, monogamous is not the only way. If that's how you feel, then, you do you. But it limits. It puts a very strict limit on what you can and can't do, especially in a situation like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Dara uses the term monogamish all the time. And I think this is the kind of instance where it's not going to be somebody that they would necessarily have a romantic relationship with. It may or may not involve penetrative sex.
It may or may not involve any kind of sex.
Right. It just depends on what. I just bring up about sex because this sounds like they're talking specifically like in the bedroom. Because they're talking about doing, I'd rather not have sex.
Well, see, that's okay. So first of all, they may not understand the concept of BDSM not necessarily only being about sex. So you got to rethink your thinking on that one too. But then the other side of that is, again, I've literally done that where I've dommed two people into having sex in front of me, but I did not participate in the sex.
Yeah.
So that feeds my voyeurism fetish. It feeds the dominant. It feeds the audio, and they got what they wanted because my one person wanted to be forced, like that's his kink. And the other person was just really happy to contribute and is very, very subby, so would do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you have to start thinking outside the box about these things. And I do find, and you guys feel free to send messages and correct me if I'm wrong. My experience could be totally wrong. But at least what I've come across in my interactions on social media and all of that is that people who kink in the privacy of their own home versus people who go out into dungeons and conventions and all of that, that the people who go out are much more creative in how they kink and the ideas that they come up with versus the people who kink just at home are more traditional.
Well, it's kind of the same concept of just broadening your horizons, learning new things. People who travel to another country are more likely to be a little more open to other cultures than people who just stay in their own little tiny small town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, it's like you don't know what you don't know. So if you're not exposed to it, it's not that you're not open-minded to it. You don't even know about it to know you should be open-minded to it.
But I feel like in the time of the internet, there shouldn't be that much that you can't be exposed to.
You'd think that, but you should see some of the shit that I come across.
No.
That's my masochism.
Open your fucking eyes, people.
So have you heard, speaking of which, have you heard about the Alpha Dom on TikTok?
No, God, why?
Okay. Anyway,
that little motherfucker, he needs a dentist and a nail salon and a haircut and a personality change.
Somebody posted in one of my other groups that this guy has a podcast and they put the link to it. And I wrote, even I am not that much of a masochist to listen to it.
Have you seen the ones where people are like, I bought the classes that he has been promoting?
No.
And she says, I watched and I bought the classes so you don't have to. And I watched them and reviewed them. Every single one of them is in his car. Every single one of them has no editing. It's just raw, unfiltered.
Okay. Now here's the question. Do you think he does all this in his car because A, he's married and hiding it, or B, he still lives with mom?
Still lives with mom, 100%, hands down, no question. That's why he has to go to his car.
Yeah.
He is a huge incel and a liar.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the ones where he's like, where they stitch it and he's like, I gave her one just by running my fingers down her back. And then like the stitcher comes in and is like, what? Meningitis?
No, the ones I like are the obviously mask people who buy the fake nails, like the 2-inch ones, and put like that on their fingers,
and then they do the. Now I'm a professional dom.
Right.
I saw one the other day where he just couldn't stop laughing. That was his entire stitch.
Or the people, the comments that they're all tagging Saturday Night Live. They're like, please. Saturday Night Live, you guys have got to turn this into a skit.
Oh my God, what if they do?
Would that not be hysterical? We finally have kink on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, and this poor dude. Oh my God. Like, what a fucking moron.
Yeah.
I've never seen TikTok
come
together
like
so hard.
It's not even just kink talk. It's like every talk.
Every talk. Book talk. I've seen them do stuff on it.
Yeah.
I've seen like, oh my God, like everything has hit this. It's like the Kate Middleton shit and Alpha Dom.
Yeah.
Everybody was on this.
Yeah, in fact, what's really funny is normally when guys like this come out and do shit, and I'm saying guys, I don't necessarily mean men, so don't come at me. Gen X, we call everybody guys.
I call everybody dudes.
Dudes and guys,
so
that's what we did.
That's gender neutral to me.
When these guys come out and do this shit, kink talk like lobs onto it, and there's stitch after stitch after stitch after stitch about this shit to the point where we get accused of quote unquote bullying. This is the first time I've ever seen that kink talk is staying quiet because so many other people are taking care of it. We don't have to say a word, and then we don't look like we're the bullies.
Nope. Everybody else in the entire world is bullying this guy because he deserves it.
It showed up in a Facebook post.
No. Are there memes?
There's somebody talked about it in a Facebook post, and I just wrote down very casually. I went, "It's okay. Kink Talk is taking care of them. All the talks are taking care of them."
I can't even understand why Lemon Talk hasn't hit it yet. Like,
because he is a lemon.
Start throwing lemons at him. I don't know. Oh my God, it's like it's the funniest goddamn thing when people start stitching it.
Some of these stitches, guys, are really hysterical.
Oh, and actually, we know people like who have stitched it and just been like, "Didn't Locrian do one recently?"
I don't know. Locrian's been doing some really amazing work. I have a couple of stitches that I got to put up, answering their questions, answering Firebird Leather questions. I actually, when I had makeup on last weekend, I ended up, I was going out and then I canceled. And so I made like a ton of
preemptive TikToks.
So
nice.
If you see me on TikTok and I'm wearing the same shirt, that's why. Because I just made a whole lot of TikToks wearing the same outfit. All right, ready for the next one?
No.
There's no bodily fluid warnings in this one.
Yeah, but I know you. You did something to piss me off.
No, I didn't. I just did the one. I use my power wisely.
Your discretionatory.
Yes.
It's okay.
With great power comes great responsibility. I'm very careful.
Okay. All right. Non-sexual tasks that aren't self-care / home maintenance. Okay. Background is we're both new to BDSM in one way or another. I, 24 NB sub, have been researching and reading and lurking on subs like these for years, so I'm very familiar with the theory side, but not application. And my daddy, 29 NB Dom, was previously in a relationship where... Well, wait a minute. Why does it say he?
I just copied and pasted, so this is not my
making
a mistake.
What I'm saying.
I know. I don't know.
This person is not correct. Okay, so I'm going to change it. Was previously in a relationship where they were treated as a kink dispenser, so they're used to some of the actions / activities, but not a mutually beneficial, explicitly communicated dynamic based on trust. One of my limits is using them as a replacement or even support of my executive function. I have autism and I want to work on developing those habits on my own so that I can maintain myself and my space without worrying about needing someone else. Here's where the advice part comes in. When I look up non-sexual tasks here and elsewhere, they tend to be either self-care or home maintenance type things. Both of those things are off limits for them to use. What are some tasks you have that aren't sexual but would fit within those parameters? I'm going to be honest, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Well, I thought this is interesting because I need a little bit more. All the ones that I come up with, some people might say that that's self-care. Some people might not. Like, is assigning a book to read about any subject, is that considered as self-care?
It could be education.
Some people would consider that self-care. But these are some of the things like I was thinking of, is having to read a book, having to take a class.
Well, so like it depends. If it's your hobby that you do to kind of like unwind, then yeah, it's kind of considered self-care. But like, I think that's really interesting because you can also, depending on the book, put it under educational, which is just kind of, I wouldn't consider that self-care, but I guess it could be in like a broader sense.
Well, for me, reading is always self-care because it gives me a chance to sit still and it brings me pleasure. So I guess you could say that's self-care. Not everybody would. Would like would doing research on a particular cuisine and then cooking a meal in that cuisine. Would that be considered self-care? Because eating is taking care of yourself.
But the cooking is under housework. So
right?
This is why I said I can't come up with anything off the top of my head, and I would actually need a bit more research for that. And it's interesting when you think about it, the fact that we can't come up with anything right away that is not housework or self-care oriented, that kind of shows a lot about subs and tasks.
Well, actually, see, I don't think it's that we can. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I just don't know if this particular person would or would not consider that self-care. Like I would assign, let's do one night a month is cuisine night where we pick a different country. You have to do research on the cuisine from that country and create a meal.
That sounds like a really fun date night.
Right? But but somebody might say that's self-care. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So I'll just throw out some ideas, and I guess people can decide for themselves if they consider that as self-care.
I personally really liked the task that our friend Iro gave to their partners apparently today. Well, you want to talk about that because I know you're going to use it.
Well, at the point in time that I ever get a sub, because I have one of my TikToks that is put to the side is this hot take that you don't have to have DS to be a part of BDSM, and I don't have a submissive because I respect the dynamic too much, and I don't have the time or energy to devote to a submissive, so I won't have one.
Right.
But anyway, what Iro did is people who normally have difficulty in making decisions, they were assigned a task to have to make some decisions.
Yes, and they were like, something that would normally take me like 10 minutes to figure out and decide took them an hour.
Right.
I'm like, damn, that would throw me off.
Is, guys, this wasn't necessarily a task so much as a punishment.
Well, yeah, but I feel like it still counts. It was genius punishment.
Now, whether or not it was like they knew they were being punished, or it was just Iro came up with a very clever.
I think it was Iro getting back at them for some shit that they did
that's
before.
That's what I'm saying.
So Iro's a sneaky little bitch.
But like, for instance, so we live in DC. I could come up with a task that requires them to visit certain historical sites.
Oh my God. You know what I just realized would be an incredible punishment here?
What?
You have to drive in DC.
Oh my God. No, that would be a hard limit for me.
I can't. Well, you've driven to Crucible once or twice.
Okay, I will drive to Crucible at night.
Because that's how you know the route.
But that's also because it's at night, so it's a lot less traffic. It's daytime, I don't drive in DC.
I refuse.
But nighttime, I will.
I refuse. That's horrible. But yeah, no, that would be a non-housework, non-whatever task / punishment.
Yeah, but like if you live in an area where there's tourist attractions, assign them to go to the tourist attraction and maybe make a report about what they've learned from this, if it's a historical site or whatever. You've got that. Maybe, I mean, like if you assign them to go see a movie, is that considered self-care? I guess that's my question. Everybody's idea of what self-care is different.
Depends on the movie. Because if you assign me, say, to go see Secretary, I'm going to be like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Why are you punishing me?
Yeah. Well, like for instance, tonight, I'm very excited. You know what I'm doing? I'm not going anywhere. That's my excitement because I've got so much. It's been nonstop. I'm actually staying home, ordering in Thai food and watching the new Mean Girls.
Oh, I love Thai food. Are you getting pad Thai?
I haven't decided what I'm getting yet.
That's my favorite. I know it's so basic, but it is actually my favorite.
And I went and bought, thanks to Naughty and Nice, who enables me, which is not always a good thing. I bought ice cream. So I've got that.
What flavor of ice cream?
Peanut butter chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Because whoever put peanut butter and chocolate together is a saint and deserves to be a saint.
We shall thank the creators of Reese's.
I don't know if they were the first ones or not, but whoever came up with that idea. Do you remember the old commercials? Again, I'm dating myself. I don't know if you remember them, where there's a guy walking with a jar of peanut butter and a guy walking with a chocolate bar, and they crash into each other. The chocolate falls into the peanut butter. You got peanut butter on my chocolate. You got chocolate on my peanut butter. And then they taste it and realize how amazing it is. It's an old Reese's commercial.
I was going to say, that's a totally adorable meet cute.
It's an old Reese's peanut butter commercial.
You're definitely dating yourself because I don't remember that shit at all.
It's just genius, the two together. So yeah, that's my goal tonight. But, I would recommend in this instance coming up with just a huge list, recognizing that some of the things that come up there, you might consider self-care, that your dom does, or whoever the other partner is doesn't consider self-care. And you know what you need to do? This is going to be crazy, guys. I'm sorry for this. I'm warning you right now. Trigger warning. Craziness coming.
Does it start with a C?
There's a C and an N. Communicate and negotiate.
What? It's not like those are our favorite words ever.
Yeah. Well, after the word's fucking free, but that's beside the point.
Free fucks?
I have no more fucks to give. So if you want to fuck at this point, it's going to cost you. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. Ready? I saw this one and I had to do it. How to enjoy dominating as a woman.
how not to enjoy. What kind of question is that?
I'm female, and I've always known my partner wants to experience being the submissive one in our relationship sometimes. He's a switch, and I am not. I am very strictly wanting to bottom. I know how good it is to be submissive and owned, and wanted him to be able to experience it too, since he's always wanted to try it. I've messed up completely. He loves it, which is amazing, and I'm so happy, but I just can't get off at all. Calling him names and tying him to the bed frame or behind his back and having him wear collars. I love that it makes him happy, but I can't help but feel jealous? Turned off? It's so hard to get off because I'm not enjoying myself, but he loves it. I want to keep him being able to enjoy it, but I just can't enjoy it myself. I'm fine if this is just a sacrifice I have to make, but I was wondering if there's a way I could enjoy it too, so I can keep him happy as a sub, but also get off myself.
So a couple things. This is really similar to the we are both subs question, and kind of the same advice going in there. Second thought is it has nothing to do with you being a woman or not. Doming has nothing to do with gender. This is simply, you're just not a dom. And the last one is, you can always kind of think of it as service topping.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you're a sub topping or dominating somebody that because they enjoy it, that is you performing a service to your person. Therefore, you are still subbing. It's a bit of a mind game, but it really works if you think about it like that.
Yeah, I guess what struck me about this, which I thought was interesting, is sex is not supposed to be transactional. I don't do things for you so that you do things for me. And the way she makes it sound is, I can't get off. He's enjoying it. He loves it, but I can't get off.
Who cares?
It sounds so transactional. Like,
do you have to get off every single time?
I mean, I do, but only because it's so easy. So if I don't, it means you really have made zero effort. Well, but that's beside the point.
Okay, so I don't. I have this thing where I just, what do you call it? I call it a mental orgasm, where I am not necessarily physically orgasming, but I enjoy what I do. Excuse me. I am enjoying what I am doing so much that it makes me so happy to see my other person, that happy and enjoy themselves. I don't necessarily have to have an orgasm. Because why? It's not about sex.
Here's the stupid funny part, okay? Your partner gets off on submitting to you? Make him give you an orgasm.
Oh, wait, what? Hey, you, sub, get over here on your knees and eat me the fuck out.
There you get your orgasm. And he is submitting.
And you are still service topping. I think this is kind of a win-win-win here.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. It's like this whole idea that if I am eating you out, I'm the person in charge versus you've ordered me to do it. Like, and I've seen it actually usually more the opposite. I've seen where, like, if the dom is eating the submissive out, then somehow they're not dominating.
Right. That's the one that I recognize more. Like, people are just really confused on how shit actually works. It has absolutely nothing to do with wrong, right, this way, that way, black, white. You know, there's only one way to do this. Get fucking creative with your thinking, people.
Yeah. Well, and it also is, you can be the one receiving and still be in charge.
Yeah, we already covered that in several
episodes. You can be the one doing and not be in charge. It's like crazy. The other thing that I go back to this whole transactional thing, like, why isn't it enough that your partner's happy, that you have given your partner happiness? Why does it have to be, but I didn't have an orgasm?
Why do you need an orgasm?
Why aren't you getting mentally and emotionally off on your partner being so happy and you did that for your partner?
Oh, I would be ecstatic. I did shit to Daddy J the other day. Because it was our anniversary. So I was giving him a little present.
So it's his 3 times a year present.
Right. Yeah, no.
Anniversary, birth date.
And Christmas. No, this one was just a little extra creative. And the man screamed.
That was the sound I heard. Okay.
Yes. And I was so excited that he was screaming. I didn't need anything else.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I did not have to have an orgasm because I was so goddamn proud of myself and so happy that I made him scream. So that was it. That was enough for me. That's all it has to be. I'm sorry, but you don't need a fucking orgasm every single time. If you do, you're a little bit greedy in my book. That's not doing something for your partner. That's doing something and then expecting something back, which again is what Rara was talking about with the transactional part. That's not, I don't feel like that's a good relationship.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing I wonder too, it's like, are you only having sex once in a blue moon that you're worried that you're not getting off enough?
Well, okay. And the other problem is on the opposite side of the spectrum here. If this is an all the time thing and you are all the time doing stuff for your partner and not getting anything in return, then it's a problem.
Right.
But if you're doing stuff and then once in a while you just give them this little treat, that's fine.
You know, and you can do it where you start off your time in bed together, where one of you is the dom, and then you switch it so that when whoever's the submissive gets the orgasm for that portion of the night, and you each get a turn. I mean, it's so, this thinking, it's gonna sound so weird. This thinking is so very vanilla to me.
Yeah, it's very trad.
It's very trad, and it's like, so my ex-husband, number 2, our sex life was very much, he would bring me to orgasm first, and then we would have the PIV, and it was his turn, and he'd get an orgasm. So why can't you do that? Where you get off, you get your orgasm, which apparently you really, really need, and now it's his turn, and you can focus on him. You can dom him during that time. He gets his orgasm. You get the joy and pleasure of knowing. I mean, I'm sorry. One of my favorite things with Diesel, like if he orgasms what he considers too quickly and he gets like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like going, are you kidding? Do you know how much of a turn on it is to me to know I've driven you so crazy you couldn't hold back and you came quickly?
How do people not feel like that? I do it all the time. And it's like, I had a boyfriend once where that happened like a lot. And he goes, oh my God, why is this happening every single time? I'm like, because I'm awesome.
Yeah, because I'm that good. I'm driving you that quickly. So it's not a bad thing. I love doing that to my partners.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, if it happened every single time and it was like a 5-minute less thing, then yeah, I'd be upset. But the occasional?
Yeah. No, that just means you're really good that day.
Yeah.
No, I take that as a huge compliment.
And especially when he and I have been together like 7 years, the fact that I can still bring him to that point after 7 years.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to calculate. I think me and Daddy Jay started what? A month or so after you and Diesel?
No, because Diesel and I have been together since 2017.
So we just had our 4-year anniversary, but we were together 3 years before that. So that's 20.
Were you really?
Yeah. That's 7 years now. So, but I know it was after because the party was
July.
Oh, then I was before because Daddy Jay and I started dating the day after Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
First weekend in July.
So, yeah. So it's like only 2 months apart.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
But it's like, this frustrates me. This kind of frustrates me because it really is. Listen, I had a girlfriend for 3 years and I always joked that I wasn't bisexual. I was Lucy-sexual because there was something specifically about her that I had a special energy with, a special chemistry with. There were things that I did with her for no other reason because I wanted to make her happy. It didn't do anything for me other than making me proud that I made her happy and making me feel fulfilled that I made her happy. Because who doesn't want to make their partner happy?
Seriously, that's the part that I don't get.
All right, we got one more here. You ready?
All right, I guess this one's considered me.
Yep.
Would this be considered bratty behavior? Well, let's just ask the expert on bratty.
Well, I need to know what happened first, and then I will answer.
You know what happened. You read it. First, I'm 21, female, lesbian, sub, and bottom. I have always considered myself a submissive since the idea of being dominant makes me uncomfortable. I am new to BDSM. That's okay. I've been known to be very bratty. bratty at moments, I'm going to say. But I find myself self-conscious that what I'm doing would make me dominant. What? Again, I'm going to go with the who cares. Why does everything have to stick with one little label? Doing something outside of your label does not make you a different label. And even if it does, who the fuck cares? Anyway. Like, for example, I will tease and run my mouth to get a reaction. I jokingly pin close friends down as well as backtalk, and I'll fight so that I can get put in my place. I don't mind the idea of a dom being restrained and... What?
Muzzled?
Of a dom being restrained and muzzled as if they were dangerous, like primal play. Oh. I would use such an opportunity to get away with being bratty before the restraints come off. But I got self-conscious about that dominant behavior when I don't want to be considered dominant at all. I'm just yapping at this point, and I don't know if it'll make any sense, but I want a second opinion if this is bratty behavior or not. Edit 1. I appreciate the responses I've received. Thank you. Sorry if this seems silly or an obvious post. I'm still quite new and wanted to double check. Edit 2. Would like to just add this is all done consensually. So this is giving, is this topping from the bottom vibes?
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know how I feel.
Did I stump you?
I don't know how I feel about this one.
Okay. I think we're going back to the problem of this idea in people's heads of what is dominant and what is submissive. And that there's no gray overlapping.
Which there's tons of.
Right? Dare I say it? There's 50 shades of gray overlapping.
Oh, my Lord.
I had to. Yeah, again, if this is all done consensually, then A, there's nothing wrong with it. And it doesn't matter what anybody else fucking thinks. As long as the partner you are working with is okay with it, then just do whatever the
it's
fuck
not a
you
fucking problem.
want. And bratting is a spectrum. And how you brat is a spectrum. For some people, and it sounds like in this case, this is the kind of brat they are, very much a make me brat. If you are going to if you're going to want me to submit to you, you have to make me.
The wrestling, the pinning down, the escaping part, that kind of, that all says that.
I think it's really cute that the dom be, quote unquote, restrained and muzzled during a primal scene as if they are a dangerous animal.
That just made me think of Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell me Hannibal was a submissive?
Not even sure that you can put Hannibal in the BDSM category.
You know what I mean.
Unless their kink was cannibalism,
yes!
which we did learn was a kink.
So don't judge.
Your
kink is not my kink, and that's okay.
I think it's okay to judge a serial killer.
Yes. Not the cannibalism part. The killing.
No, I'm going to judge that too, because clearly it was not presented as a kink. Okay. So if you're going to tell me not to judge Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm.
Well, no, I'm just saying is don't judge the kink, judge the killing. Unless killing is your kink, in which case
I'm going to be very judgy about that one.
But this person is like, I think they need to worry less about how outsiders view this and worry more that as long as your partner's okay with it, you're fine. And do it and be fun. This very much is a primal scene.
I think people just need to chill the fuck out.
Well, that's a whole nother story. And why are you self-conscious about that being dominant behavior? Like, who cares? Who the fuck gives a shit?
Okay, we're going to have to put a warning on this one for everybody to listen at lower volume. Whew.
Oh, really? You who started off the episode at an incredible rant.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I started it, you ended it. We are very yelly today.
I think we're just very emotional and very upset and adamant that people need to get the fuck over themselves.
Seriously, this is why I have such a problem with labels. Because people get so stuck on, is this? If I deviate from this, am I not really this anymore? Fuck it, who cares? Explore. Do things. You obviously, if you're doing things that you think may be considered dominant, do them. Who cares?
I can just envision this whole scene. So you've got, similar to like they have like that cage at Crucible. So the dominant is in the cage.
Ooh, with the muzzle.
With the muzzle, with the restraints, and starts going wild because they see the primal partner.
Dancing with somebody else.
Then they quote unquote break out.
I want to see this scene.
And they go after them.
Do you think Hot Asian Guy would be into that?
I don't know.
I could totally watch it. I don't know. We should ask him.
Okay. Because God knows he doesn't listen, so we can't ask him here.
Yeah, no, we'll have to text him.
Bad boy.
He deserves a spanking.
I think so. I know. You just want to get your hands on his ass.
Yes, I do.
You don't even do impact play. You want to just get your hands on his ass.
I really, really do. I want to bite it is what I want.
Okay, I'll hit it. You bite it. Everybody's going to be happy.
Oh, no. Perfect. Absolutely
Sold.
perfect. Anyway, so.
But yeah, I mean, to me, and so you've got your prey and your predator. That sounds like submissive behavior to me.
That sounds like fun. I would totally watch that scene and be ready.
Right? So I don't understand why that somehow doesn't appear like that's being submissive, that somehow you appear dominant.
Could there be like a kinky obstacle course?
Of course.
That ends in like a gauntlet of you have to run through people trying to hit you?
We can make that happen.
That sounds like really cool.
Naughty Noel has something similar. They actually call it the gauntlet. And they have the tops are lined up, creating a walkway. And they each hold onto like their favorite implements. And the submissives walk down and they get hit as they walk down.
This sounds like a fun party game for a Pink Kink takeover.
Yeah.
Actually.
I think we can probably arrange that.
Do you want to do an obstacle course or do you want to do like
an
the
obstacle
gauntlet?
course is a little harder, but
let's do a gauntlet.
Yeah, gauntlet would be a little bit easier if we can make the room. Right down on the dance floor would have to be where it is.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool, especially with the amount of people that would show up. That would be a huge crowd. Can't talk today. I'm so excited. A huge crowd draw.
Yeah. So I think that this person needs to get out of their head and not worry about what would be dominant versus what is submissive. This is a primal scene, a predator and prey scene, and I love it. And a make me brat will look, quote unquote, dominant to other people. But that's part of the beauty of it. It's you have to make me. So you have to be, at least in my view, you have to be a bigger brat than the brat.
It's all about who's out bratting.
It's a brat on brat crime. May the best brat win.
May the brat be ever in your favor.
Yes. So that was this month's Reddit. I hope we gave you guys enough rants and insanity.
Oh, no, we went off. Like I said, we're probably going to have to put some sort of trigger warning. Loud noises may occur. Please listen at low volume.
Both hosts got on their soapboxes
many times
and let it loose. Don't forget to use our BDSM_AITA for any of your questions. Are you the asshole or not? Or the stories that you see of things happening? Tell your friends about it. We have broken 1,000 members to that. Next goal is 2,000. If you come across in any Reddit post that you think would be fun for us to answer, send those to us at pinkkinkpodcast@gmail.com. And who knows, we might answer that in a future Reddit episode. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to show support, there are several ways. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can support our affiliates or help spread the word about our kinky podcast to your friends.
Don't forget to rate and review Pink Kink on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our link tree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pretty, stay safe,
and stay twisted.